What's up, wrestling fans? It's Devin.
It's Spooky.
We are your dudes talking wrestling. Spook, we're back with another great episode. This week, we've got a fun topic to talk about.
Tell them about it.
Today, we are talking about our top 3 favorite female wrestlers. All right, Spook, I'm going to kick it off right here. This diva/wrestler brought fun to the table. She was an excellent in-ring performer. The one, the only, Molly Holly.
Okay.
So the first time I remember seeing Molly Holly in action, obviously she was with her cousins.
Yep, Hardcore and Crash.
That's right. And if you remember, she was a manager for them.
Yep.
And one of her biggest rivals was none other than who?
Trish Stratus?
Trish Stratus.
Okay.
And Trish Stratus at the time managed for Test and Albert.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember them seeing there was tag team matches, 3-on-3 matches. You have to remember, she was a wrestler. Yeah, she looked great, but she was a wrestler at heart, trained by Dean Malenko, so she had some it factor in her.
Nice.
Now you have to remember, a little bit after her leaving her cousins, she did a little stint with one of the Dudley boys. Spike.
Spike, okay. Yeah, I was going to say Spike.
So after the love spell fell out with her and Spike, she teamed up with one of, I said it on the Pro Wrestling Edge podcast, one of my favorite wrestlers. She teamed up with, it's a Hurricane.
Oh, Hurricane. Oh, that was a great tag team, though.
Oh, her and Mike, so it was Mighty Molly.
Mighty Molly, yeah.
They had the Cosmo and Wanda outfits before Cosmo and Wanda were even around.
All right.
And she did great work. She is a 2-time women's champion. I just love her in-ring performance as well as she was pretty.
Yeah, I mean, Molly Holly was great. She had some really good matches. Women's champion, of course. I believe she feuded a little bit with Ivory. May have feuded there with Tori Wilson, but I definitely remember her and the Hurricane.
And remember,
teaming up.
in Victoria.
And Victoria, yeah,
where
definitely.
She shaved her head.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember her shaving her head, and that was a wild one. That was a wild time.
She still came back in a few matches here and there. But
yeah, I think she appeared even in the Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble match.
She sure did.
Yep.
Who do you got up first?
So I got someone. I'm gonna kick it off with someone spooky. Luna Vachon.
Okay, tell me about her.
Luna was all over. You know, she wrestled from the Indies, from Japan, WWF, WCW, ECW. She was the first woman featured in a WWF video game in 1994.
Okay, that's a fun fact.
WWF Raw. She managed many wrestlers, notable with Kevin Sullivan, Shawn Michaels, Bam Bam Bigelow, who I remember growing up as a kid. She managed Tommy Dreamer in ECW. With Kevin Sullivan, it was the Army of Darkness stable, and that's where she got her memorable, iconic look that we know Luna for, with the half her head shaved. Yep. So she had half the head shaved. She had the mohawk going, the crazy makeup. I remember the lightning bolt across her face. And I remember her managing Goldust, too, at a time and place when she returned to the WWF in 1997. Notable feuds with Jacqueline, Tori, and Sable. The end of her career, 2007, she became the first women's champion of the Great Lakes Championship Wrestling, which was out of Milwaukee. Her last match took place December 7th, 2007, where she won and retired as champion. So I'm going to have to say Luna Vachon is definitely up there with Sensational Sherry. You know, I know that they had their little bout too, but Luna Vachon is definitely my top 3 pick.
Okay. Up next, I have someone that the wrestling business was a family business.
Stephanie McMahon?
No, my friend. No. I'm talking about Paige.
Oh, no.
So, obviously, we all know her for the movie, Fighting With My Family. Awesome flick. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. She first auditioned for WWE back in 2010, and she actually didn't make the cut.
Wow.
Unfortunately. But then, just like any great athlete, they never give up. She was back there at April 2011, went much better, leading to a signed development contract later in the year. Actually, her brother tried out for WWE too and didn't get the cut. Sorry,
really?
Bucko. His name's Zach. Paige was actually the youngest female wrestler to actually win the Divas Championship.
Wow.
A little fun fact. Paige's career was cut a little short due to critical medical reasons. But actually, after she retired, that next day, Shane McMahon said, hey, we need you back here to be a GM. So she came back. She was the SmackDown general manager for a while. Just an awesome story. The fact that she was literally in her mom's womb while her mom was still wrestling. Some people say they were born to wrestle. Before she was even born, she was wrestling.
Exactly.
So I think it's more than in her blood. It's It's running through her veins.
Literally in the family.
Literally in the family.
Yeah, you threw me for a loop there. I thought for sure you were going to say Stephanie, which is definitely an honorable mention.
100%. Who you got up next?
So my next one, I have none other than Bayley.
Okay.
So a couple quick facts about Bayley, if you guys don't know. She signs with NXT in 2012. She wins the NXT women's title in 2015, which, I mean, back in the day and even in the Attitude Era and stuff, these were hard feats to accomplish. You weren't just coming into WWE and then being the women's champion the next week, or next month. It took her a couple years, but she definitely stride for that goal. And 2015 was actually a pretty big year for Bayley as well, because she won the NXT Female Competitor of the Year and the best match with Sasha Banks.
Okay.
So 2015 was pretty big. She's won the women's Raw title. She's won the women's SmackDown championship. She's the tag team champion for the women's division. That makes her the first women's Triple Crown champion and Grand Slam winner in WWE history.
That is in the history books right there. I did not know that.
Okay, going on further, she's won the 2019 Women's Money in the Bank match. She also was one of the first women to defend her WWE title in Saudi Arabia. It was the first women's match. So she's done a lot of firsts. And right now, obviously, she's the leader of the faction of the Damage Control, which is with Dakota Kai and Io Sky.
You love them.
Io Sky.
You love them.
I love them.
I
love them. I love Damage Control. So I think that I kind of screwed up on the names there, but it is what it is. But for a women's faction and a women's team, this is, I think, is a first. You don't see women going around just destroying stuff. You
love the damage control.
Oh, I love them. They're the top right there. So Bayley, hats off to you. She's done wonderful things in WWE so far.
One thing I forgot to mention about Paige is she actually won the WWE Divas Championship her first night on Raw. So if that doesn't say anything, she was coming right in to set the tone. All right, Spook, my last wrestler has to be none other than Becky Lynch.
Going off Damage Control, of course. All right.
Now, I'm not talking steampunk Becky Lynch. I want to get that clear for you guys. If you guys like that Becky Lynch, that's awesome. Not for me. Not only being the highest paid female wrestler, how much do you think she makes a year?
I have no idea. What do you?
3.1 mil.
Oh my goodness. That wasn't going to be a year?
A year. So let's talk about that for a second.
Becky Lynch.
Remember when China was asking for $1 million?
Right.
And I get it, completely different inflation. I get it. But just to see where she's at,
right.
That's wild to me. First woman to ever be on the cover of a WWE video game. Do you know who she was next to? Think about it. When you're talking about great ones right now.
Kurt Angle.
Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay.
Come on,
I say Kurt Angle.
Only woman to win a main event at WrestleMania. So she got her initial wrestling training from the school of Finn Balor.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. Did you know that actually Ric Flair wasn't happy with WWE calling Becky Lynch the man?
Oh, I know.
Because
he was upset.
Because to be the man,
you got to beat the man.
And let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, Ric Flair was the bigger man, and he apologized to Becky Lynch and backstage just recently too. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that they made amends.
Had to.
So it is what it is. Shout out to Ric Flair though.
Woo! Woo! Going back to Paige, Becky Lynch actually wrestled for Paige's mom's promotion back in the day, in her earlier days. But yeah, for me, it's Becky Lynch. I think she's got the attitude. She's got the mic talk. She's got the in-ring performance.
The crowd goes crazy. I remember she was at a Raw last year when we were at Little Caesars Arena.
Okay.
And the pop that she received was crazy because I'd never seen her live. But it was pretty cool to see her live in action. So.
Obviously, her signature move being the manhandle slam.
Come on now.
I think it just fits her. Obviously, I could go on and on and on, but those top three, I think they stick out to me. And you know me, I'm not big with the gory, so Paige's goth look, but Molly Holly with her character switch. Right. And Becky Lynch, I feel like just being an all-around great performer.
Exactly. Those are three good, diverse groups and genres, and definitely different times in WWE. So that's a good pick. I'm going to go off of you with Becky Lynch. I know I said Bayley, but I have to talk about Lita. Making her return at 47 years old.
Wow.
I mean, geez, she's been here. So
Just recently,
just a few weeks ago. And so backtracking now, she actually worked with ECW for about 6 months, 1999. I remember her coming in with S.A. Rios. A lot of people don't remember him. He had a little short run. but that was before Team Extreme.
Okay.
We all know Matt and Jeff.
Yep.
So that's where she got her
claim to fame.
Claim to fame, exactly. Thank you. So she got that. That was 2001. So she's won the women's championship a handful of times. She retired as a full-time performer in 2006, but has been involved with the company on and off since. She's worked a few indie shows. She was inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame in 2014.
Okay.
And now back 2023 at the age of 47. So and she's teaming up with Becky Lynch. They just beat Damage Control for the women's tag team titles,
which we love.
And I just got to mention real quick, this was not the first, but the second time that Lita main evented Raw. The first time was her and Trish for the women's title in 2004.
That's a fun fact.
That is. And so now, as we all know, history repeats itself. So this year at WrestleMania, we're going to have Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch going against Damage Control.
Well, I'll put my silver bottom dollar. That old school is taking on the new school.
And
they're going to get the win.
No way, because they got the upper hand, and Lita and Trish weren't involved, but Becky Lynch and everyone else, they got involved for War Games. They beat Damage Control, which is a very, and not just Damage Control. I think Rhea Ripley was teaming up with them, but they got the upper hand on them. Not this time around. No way. WrestleMania, Damage Control, coming to claim victory. It's not for the tag team championships, but it is a 6-man tag, 6 women's tag.
Correct.
I should say. But it's going to be awesome just to see Trish and Lita back at WrestleMania after all these years.
I did see Trish had some Hallmark movie. Grace probably watched it, and it wasn't for me. But to see her back in the ring, where she belongs, right. Oh, Canada, I love it. With her and Lita, obviously we know about Jeff Hardy's troubles right now. We wish you well, Jeff. Yes. Maybe she comes out and hits a Swanton Bomb one more time to pin your Damage Control.
No way. That's not happening. You guys let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Let us know who your top divas or women superstars are. Obviously, you guys here are 6, so we'd like to hear what you guys think. Leave a comment, subscribe, and also click that bell for notifications. I'm Spooky.
I'm Dev, and at the end of the day, we're just a couple of dudes talking wrestling.